Man, that's a tough fight. Especially for Xander at this point in his career. But it shows his heart and his confidence, that he have in himself, and he's ready to go make history for his country. And he's going to do real well in that fight.
Boots a hell of a fighter. What kind of advice would you give Boots if you were his corner man?
I'll just say don't always be looking for the knockout boxing. So, he's a good boxer.
Most difficult guy to fight in the weight class because he's rangy. He can do so many things. He can fight inside. He can fight outside. He's a great body puncher. He's a very, very respected guy, and I think he's very mature for his age.
It's hard to really go against Boots because on that one with specifically Xander, I feel Xander's still young. Boots is a lot older and has a lot more experience.
As fight night gets closer, boxing experts are making their final picks for the showdown between Jaron "Boots" Ennis and Xander Zayas. Among them, Terence Crawford is backing Ennis, pointing to his high-level experience, proven track record, and complete skill set as key advantages. While Crawford respects Zayas' talent and potential, he believes the young contender is still growing and gaining valuable experience, making Ennis the more prepared fighter heading into this major clash.
I just think, right now, it's a little bit too early for him.
According to Eddie Hearn, Jaron "Boots" Ennis possesses a fight IQ that stands far above most fighters in the sport today. Hearn believes Ennis not only understands the game at an elite level, but also has untapped abilities that fans have yet to witness inside the ring. While supporters have already seen his speed, power, and versatility, Hearn feels there are still deeper layers to Ennis' talent that could emerge in future fights, making him an even more dangerous opponent as his career continues to grow.
The balls to do it, so you have to respect Zayas, and the fact that he's willing to do it, he's a serious threat because he's not an idiot. Top rank aren't idiots.
Like they think after this fight.
He believes the best way to prepare for a big fight is to confront every challenge head-on rather than avoid it. In his view, true confidence comes from pushing through difficult moments in training, testing your limits, and overcoming obstacles before stepping into the ring. By facing his fears directly and staying committed to the work, he feels a fighter can enter the fight mentally strong, fully prepared, and ready for whatever comes their way.
Spar, work on things that you don't like to do. Get comfortable doing things that you don't like to do and try things. Everybody come and spar and they do the same thing over and over and over, and then they wonder why they don't get better.
That's right.
Or they fight the same way. That works on this level, but when you get to the elite level, you're going to have to pull everything out.
Max Kellerman believes Jaron Ennis will be the fighter in control when he faces Xander Zayas. He points to Ennis' greater experience, sharp boxing intelligence, and more complete skill set as major advantages in the matchup. While Kellerman acknowledges that Zayas is a highly talented young fighter with a bright future, he feels Ennis is currently operating at a higher level and has already reached a stage in his career that Zayas is still working toward.
I'm feeling great, man. About to be a 2-time weight division unified champ. Man, I'm snapping my legacy, man. It's only up, man. I'm about to show the world I'm the best in the world. I'm gonna continue to keep showing the world I'm the best in the world. And like this boxing game mine. Straight like that.
Now, the bout with Virgil Ortiz looked like it was done, and then of course, the legal stuff happened. That nothing to do with you.
Right.
But you always said that you were going to give the fans the Virgil fight, and if that didn't happen, right back to the mission, and the mission was the belts.
Yep.
So was that why Xander was your first option after Virgil?
Yeah, I mean, well, once we, me and the team sat down, we figured out like, it's, everything falling through, it's not really gonna happen. I told them, my team, Metro, the zone, I'm like, yo, go get me Xander. I'm gonna go get me Xander, or go get me somebody with the belts, and that's what they did, and I'm glad they did that, and I'm excited.
Jaron "Boots" Ennis says his priority is competing against world champions and fighting for major titles, which he sees as the natural path for his career. While he has respect for Xander Zayas and recognizes him as a skilled young contender with plenty of potential, Ennis believes there is still a noticeable difference in experience between them. His focus remains on testing himself against the sport's best fighters, as he feels those high-level championship bouts will ultimately shape his legacy and determine how far he can go in boxing, all while continuing to show respect to the next generation of rising talent.
What do you see Xander's strengths? What do you see weaknesses on both fighters? How do you see Xander versus Boots going?
If you want me to be honest, I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. Zayas is a he's been at 154 for a way longer time, and Boots is coming up. But of course, skills pay the bills. I feel like Boots could edge it off in a close fight, but who knows? Xander could pull off the upset, even though he's a champion. But I think Boots is the more skillful fighter in a way. But Xander is no pushover, and he's a champion for a reason, and it could go either way. But I feel like Boots could slightly take the edge on that one.
Leo Ruiz believes Xander Zayas should not be underestimated and expects a tough, highly competitive fight, but he gives a slight advantage to Jaron "Boots" Ennis. According to Ruiz, Ennis benefits from greater experience at 154 pounds, which provides him with added confidence and composure at this level. Although Zayas continues to develop and prove himself against top opposition, Ruiz feels the outcome could still swing either way depending on who performs better on fight night. He views Ennis as the more complete and adaptable fighter, noting his ability to switch seamlessly between southpaw and orthodox stances, fight effectively at long range or under pressure, and make smart adjustments during the action. Ruiz believes Ennis' high boxing IQ, versatility, and comfort fighting both on the front foot and while moving backward make him a difficult and unpredictable opponent in any situation.
Has more tools in the bag. I feel like he's really good going forward or backward. He could box. He's a southpaw. He could turn orthodox, whatever. I feel like he could adapt. And Xander's a good boxer. He could box and stay on the outside and just win. Just using his jab and being really good on the outside. It's kind of hard to see. To pick a definite fighter to win, but I think Boots will for sure, take the.
Xander Zayas is highly regarded for his discipline, technical skill, and ability to control fights with a precise jab and smart distance management. He stays calm under pressure, follows the fundamentals, and avoids unnecessary exchanges, allowing him to consistently win rounds and build momentum throughout a fight. His patience and timing make him a difficult opponent for anyone who cannot match his rhythm. However, Leo Ruiz believes Zayas has yet to face the same caliber of elite competition that Jaron "Boots" Ennis has already encountered, and that experience difference could become crucial in the later, more demanding stages of the fight. While Zayas continues to improve and develop, facing a proven fighter like Ennis presents a major test. Ruiz notes that Zayas may still be vulnerable in high-pressure situations against top-level opponents, while Ennis can occasionally leave openings when taking risks to break his opponents down. Even so, Ruiz views this as a very close and exciting matchup, ultimately giving a slight edge to Ennis because of his versatility, adaptability, elite-level experience, and ability to perform in challenging situations against world-class competition.
Pick that out.
Man, it's two insanely talented fighters. I myself am a Xander fan. I'm through and through since day one. I've known him since the amateurs. I'm gonna rock with Xander. He's my guy. I won't ever go against him, man. So Xander's my guy, and I'm gonna keep with him. But Boots is such a talented fighter. I'm a fan of his as well, and I'm excited for that. I just saw he posted today that he signed the contract.
Richard Torres Jr. speaks highly of Xander Zayas and says he has great respect for the way he fights. He admires Zayas' disciplined approach, strong technical skills, and determination, believing those qualities make him a serious threat to anyone in the division. Torres feels Zayas has the talent, mindset, and toughness needed to give Jaron "Boots" Ennis a real challenge and keep the fight competitive. Although he recognizes Ennis as an elite fighter with a proven track record at the highest level, he believes Zayas has the ability to create difficult moments and test Ennis in ways that few opponents have been able to do at this point in their careers.
We see that Xander is fighting Boots June 27th. Love to get your reaction on that. What do you think about the winner, leading up to a Fundora fight, but just the fight itself as well?
So what's the first question? Who the best at 54?
Who do you think is the best at 54? And then, what do you think about June 27th in New York City?
I think it's a three-way tie out of all the champions. You know why I say that? Wow. Who got the best win out of all of them guys?
At 54, I would say Xander.
Xander got the best win?
Yeah.
And who would that win be?
I think Abaz beating Tellis was big. And then him beating Abaz, I think that was huge.
Hackett offers a balanced perspective on the upcoming Xander Zayas versus Jaron Ennis showdown on June 27th in New York City. He views the 154-pound division as one of boxing's most competitive weight classes and even considers the top contenders to be nearly equal based on their recent performances and quality victories. Hackett believes Zayas has earned significant respect through his recent wins and continued development, especially considering how young he is. He points to victories such as his performance against Abbas as evidence of how quickly Zayas is progressing. At the same time, he recognizes Ennis as a highly skilled and motivated fighter entering an important new chapter at 154 pounds, where his physical tools, boxing ability, and adaptability will face a greater test. In Hackett's view, the outcome of the fight will ultimately be determined by ring IQ, conditioning, pressure management, and mental strength when the action becomes most intense.
You know, obviously, him being 23, you wanting this fight, Boots, you know, only has one fight really at 54, fight in Lima. So I mean, this is a big guy, can box. What do you see in the fight?
It's gonna come down to IQ. It's gonna come down to conditioning. It's gonna come down to pressure. It's gonna come down to what Xander is willing to go through. Xander is the champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boots is hungry because he want that respect and he want those titles. Xander got to figure out how far he willing to go. I think he's willing to go there because what he went through with Abbas was a good tangle up. You know what I mean? That was a good little mix. But this time you won't be fighting Abbas. But at the same time, Boots.
Hackett believes this fight will reveal a lot about both fighters. He says Xander Zayas, as the champion, must show how he responds when facing true elite-level pressure, while Jaron Ennis enters the bout highly motivated to prove himself and earn greater recognition in a new division. Hackett points out that this is one of the first major tests for Ennis against a skilled, strong, and physically capable opponent at 154 pounds. He also praises Zayas for accepting such a challenging fight at a young age, viewing it as a sign of confidence and ambition. According to Hackett, Zayas has the tools to control the action with his jab, movement, and disciplined boxing style, while Ennis is likely to rely on pressure, versatility, and constant adjustments to break through. He expects a closely contested matchup and believes it could go the full distance if Zayas remains patient and sticks to his game plan. However, he cautions that if both fighters decide to exchange aggressively, the fight could end with a clear and decisive finish before the final bell.
Right now, it looks like Xander and Boots are going to fight. What are your thoughts on that fight?
It's going to be a good fight, man. The division looking good right now, you know, and I just want to see all the fighters fight each other, man. The best need to fight the best. That's what's going to bring the fans to box.
Wright believes the matchup between Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis has all the ingredients to be a highly competitive and entertaining fight, especially in a 154-pound division that continues to grow stronger. He feels boxing benefits when top fighters are willing to face real challenges instead of protecting their records, and he sees this bout as a perfect example of that mindset. According to Wright, true greatness is earned by defeating elite opponents, not by collecting wins against lower-level competition. He believes both Zayas and Ennis have reached a point in their careers where they must prove themselves against the best fighters available. For that reason, he views this fight as a major test for both men and an important moment that could help elevate not only their careers but also the entire division.
Be great by beating somebody great. You know what I'm saying? You can have a bunch of wins with no great win. You're just a good fighter, but you want to be great, you need to beat another great fighter. So they got the opportunity, and I hope they do it.
What are your thoughts on, if you know about it, the Virgil situation? Virgil Ortiz, him and Golden Boy have kind of like a lawsuit going on against one another. Virgil put the lawsuit out for Golden Boy. Now he's sitting on the sideline waiting for arbitration. Do you think it was right of Xander to step in and say, you know what, I'll take on Boots since you're going to be sidelined for a bit?
I had nothing. I don't know about it. You know, tell you the truth. You just telling me new. But it's good that he stepped in and we can get a fight going. But
Wright believes both Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis have reached a stage in their careers where taking on elite opponents is necessary to prove how good they truly are. He argues that fighters only become exceptional by facing top-level competition and performing under intense pressure. Wright also highlights the emerging group of standout names at 154 pounds, including Virgil Ortiz Jr., Xander Zayas, and Jaron Ennis, describing them as key figures in the division's future. With Ortiz currently out of the picture, Wright views Zayas stepping into this major opportunity as a positive development that keeps momentum building within the weight class. Overall, he strongly supports the matchup and believes it represents the kind of meaningful, high-stakes competition that fans want to see and that boxing needs to continue growing.
Jaron Ennis. What you think? Boots by stop the 7th, 8th round. That was fast, eh? I got boots. I've been saying it. What do you see? First 2 rounds, Xander is going to get because Boots going to adjust. And I think after that, Boots just takes over. I think Boots just says he's too athletic. The way he puts his punches together and where they come from, he's not going to see them.
What does Xander have to do to be successful?
I can't really, I don't see nothing he can do. To tell you the truth, except he might have some private power, probably catch Boots with something. Surprisingly, probably punch when he punches. He just got to throw. But if he just stands there and thinks he's going to move and try to be athletic with him, Boots got him all the way.
Now, do you see it being a systematic breakdown or one shot's going to get him?
Spring remains firmly behind Jaron "Boots" Ennis in the upcoming fight against Xander Zayas and says his opinion has not changed throughout the build-up. He believes Ennis is the more complete fighter and expects him to take control after a competitive start. In Spring's view, Zayas could have success in the opening rounds by using movement, staying disciplined, and establishing his rhythm, but he doubts that approach will remain effective once Ennis begins making adjustments. He points to Ennis' athletic ability, creative combinations, and sharp timing as major advantages, explaining that Boots attacks from different angles and mixes his punches in ways that are difficult to anticipate. Spring feels that as the fight progresses and the pressure increases, Zayas may struggle to keep up with the pace and find consistent answers. When discussing Zayas' path to victory, he suggests that a perfectly timed counter or unexpected moment could create an opportunity, but he does not believe a conventional boxing approach alone will be enough. Overall, Spring expects Ennis to gradually take over the fight and predicts a stoppage victory in the middle to later rounds, likely around the 7th or 8th round.
You think this fight gonna be a slam dunk for him? You know, who was the last technical guy that Boots fought, man? Karen? Come on, man. He get in there with a young gun, man, just as hungry and energetic as he is. You understand that? Bigger than he is. Probably just as strong as he is. High boxing IQ, just as well as he does. You know, got skills, good counterpuncher, good legs, good movement. Can throws and bunches, got a left hook, which is the punch that Boots get hit with most. You know, like, Boots got the right.
Tim Bradley strongly disagrees with the idea that Jaron "Boots" Ennis will have an easy night against Xander Zayas, arguing that many people are overlooking just how competitive this matchup could be. Bradley sees Zayas as far more than a promising young fighter, describing him as a skilled and dangerous opponent with the tools to create serious problems. He highlights Zayas' athleticism, ring intelligence, footwork, and effective counterpunching as key strengths that could make the fight very challenging. Bradley also believes Zayas has the physical strength and size to compete evenly with Ennis, which could reduce some of the advantages Boots often enjoys against other opponents. In addition, he points to Zayas' ability to capitalize on mistakes, especially when facing aggressive fighters who leave openings, making him a threat throughout the fight if Ennis is not careful.
Hit with most. You know, this ain't gonna be no damn slam dunk. This probably might be like a half court shot. Yeah, for both these dudes, man. You know, like, Xander like guys that come forward. And you already know Boots is gonna be aggressive, boxing coming forward. You know, his game, he gets too impatient sometimes. Because he's constantly on the hunt, looking for a knockout and looking to counter. You know, we know Boots like to be first. We know he likes to bring the action and bring the pain. You know, he needs to learn discipline. That's it. And Xander's that guy that can make him learn that real fast because Xander's one of those dudes that's going to tax your mistakes. That's what he does. He tax these guys that come forward, he tax their mistakes. Now he's in there with a quick.
Tim Bradley notes that Jaron "Boots" Ennis often fights aggressively and looks for opportunities to score knockouts, but he believes that approach can occasionally lead to impatience and defensive mistakes. In Bradley's view, Xander Zayas has the discipline and ring awareness needed to take advantage of those openings if they appear. While he fully recognizes Ennis as an elite fighter with exceptional speed, talent, and improving adaptability, he also points out that smart, mobile, and technically sound opponents have caused him difficulties at times in the past. Because of that, Bradley sees this matchup as much closer than many people expect. He considers it a genuine 50-50 fight, with both men possessing realistic paths to victory. Ultimately, he believes the result will depend on who remains more disciplined, makes the better adjustments throughout the contest, and avoids costly mistakes when the pressure is at its highest.
I've rated them both slightly above Xander, but Xander has 2 belts. So you can't go wrong with 2 belts because Ortiz and Boots don't have belts at 54. I think that Boots and Virgil Ortiz styles clash better. That would have been like a barn burner, a war, like high contact war. I think that Xander is going to try to box and take some of the violence out of the fight. So I think it's a different kind of fight. You know what I mean? To be honest, I think it's a different